But joking aside, within the first 23 minutes, we have gotten 2 conservatives to admit they do not care about reality. They do not care about studies, data, or facts. Do kids need a mom and dad? Queer versus conservative parents. But to answer this question, no. You can have 2 dads, you can have 2 moms, and you will be just fine. So let's see how this Jubilee goes. Whoa, versus kids? Oh, I didn't know that.
It is important that parents honor their children's boundaries.
Yes. I hope everyone moves forward. I mean, maybe a couple of them will be like, no, I'm the parent. They gotta listen to me and be very authoritarian. Did his shirt say the future is family? This guy is gonna be insane. So I'm guessing these are the 2 more progressive kids, and these 2 kids are gonna be more conservative leaning. Yeah, I mean, support Black Trans Lives shirt. You're not a conservative wearing that shirt.
It is 100% safety, and it just means you respect their emotions as a human. It doesn't mean you let your kid do whatever you want. I think that's a common misconception.
Mm-hmm. Can the disagreeers step forward?
Very sober, measured, and well-rounded discussion there.
So if we just allow our children to have no boundaries, or we allow them to set the standard for the boundaries, I think that they're just not. Who said
to do that? Who said to do that? Conservatives, man. They construct these straw man arguments out of thin air.
She rides horses. We go out to the range. She shoots guns.
A 6-year-old shooting guns? I don't want to be like a big city liberal because I like shooting guns, but a 6-year-old, I mean, that's got to be. I don't want a 6-year-old holding a gun in any environment, and no matter how controlled. I don't want a 6-year-old holding a BB gun.
So if your daughter, let's say, said, you know what, Daddy, I don't want to wear these clothes no more. I don't want to wear this pink dress. I don't want to wear these frills. I don't want to dress like a girl. I want to cut my hair off. What would you say?
That wouldn't be up to me. That would be up to our mother.
Okay, what would you guys say? I would imagine.
What? Why would that be specifically up to the mother? These like gender binaries that conservatives put themselves in. Like, you can have a say in that?
Well, let's see where it's coming from. Because obviously, if she's not seen it in our home, then she saw it from somewhere.
That's not true. I was 5 years old when I told my mom.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt her, but what he just said is fundamentally wrong. Like, the idea that, like, you have to... I hate this idea, man. That I have to see 2 guys kissing on Buzz Lightyear to realize I'm gay. Like, that's not how it works. You're going to realize you're gay in a vacuum, okay? You could put a person in a box for their whole life, and if they were going to be gay, they're going to be gay. It's not about what they saw.
Yeah, but you shouldn't accept your child for everything that they think. Like, I used to dress up and like think I was a pirate, but my parents didn't cut off my arm and attach a hook. Like, not everything should just affirm.
Bro, come on, dude. Are you kidding me? He's talking like I liked pirates as a 6-year-old is the same thing as my gender identity. I don't know how you can like brush your teeth in the morning or tie your shoes and also say the words that just came out of his mouth. I fundamentally do not understand how those 2 things are possible. That is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard that guy just say. He is just a kid, right? He's Gen Z. He's probably in his early 20s, late teens. So give him some leeway. I was a very dumb kid. But come on, dude. That is just like 101 level dumb. And again, he's a kid. You could be dumb as a kid. I give you carte blanche to be dumb as a kid. But wow.
But what I'm saying is, you don't accept everything simply because they say it. Like,
self-mutilation and accepting your daughter for being gay is a little bit not apples to apples, my friend.
Do you think that their willingness to be, let's just use the word liberal in acceptance and you wanting to do the things that you do is because they're your adopted parents and maybe that they felt this obligation that they want to be closer to you?
Absolutely not. I'm the only one adopted.
What the fuck kind of question is that? Dude, there's like a brain lobe missing in conservatives, man, to where you can ask just the dumbest questions.
It's best for a child to have a mother and a father.
No. If you take one baby and clone them, like physically clone them, whatever, and give them to 2 dads and 2 moms, and a mom and a dad. Similar socioeconomic status, similar political views. It's less about the gender, like to determine who you're gonna be has very little to do with the gender or sex of the parents. It's to do with like bigger things like your socioeconomic status, political leanings of those parents. What kind of person are they going to teach you to become? And a tiny iota to do with the sex of them specifically.
And it was really vital to have a masculine figure and also a feminine figure. I think if you have too much of either, that can affect you in negative ways as a kid.
What?
The problem that I have with the same
Bro!
is that when you have
Jesus Christ.
And we have a lot of data on this.
the
Social
fuck,
scientists
dude?
have tons of studies and research about this.
Citation
Homosexuals
needed
can't
on his
love
like
and
studies, the
commit.
tons of studies.
It's-
I don't have time to pull it up, but what I've read is that there's nothing wrong with like two parents of the same sex or gender, and that the idea that it has to be the same sex or gender is the myth. So I think he's just pulling that completely out of his ass. In the like international like child development community, there's no issue with same-sex parents.
I feel
Bro,
like same-sex parents
what the
adopting
fuck?
are thrusting the child into their lifestyle instead of realizing and asking the better question, which is what is best for that child. You still are necessarily denying that child a parent. And I believe that children have
Dude.
rights, and that the most important right is a right to a mother and a father, and they have that right by virtue of being brought into this world by those two people.
God, what a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, dude. What, like, holy shit, man. This was the guy who I was complaining about said that other extremely dumb thing. I think this guy is just an extremely dumb person, unfortunately, which is a huge bummer. Everything coming out of his mouth is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But as far as having a man say, hey, this is actually what the woman is for. She's not to be your plaything. She's actually a valued person with emotions and standards and morals and values. And this is how you should, treat a woman. So to have a father in my life would have kept me from doing a ton of stuff that ended up hurting me emotionally later on and causing a lot of trauma,
Lot to unpack there.
Well, I also, not only is it, as a Christian, it's not biblical.
Ugh, I hate whenever someone prefaces anything with as a Christian, it makes me want to video game. I'm going to hate whatever is about to come out of your mouth next. I don't even care if it agrees with my political views. If you preface anything with as a Christian, I'm going to want to die.
If we're going to normalize same-sex households, we will have a very difficult reproduction issue down the line.
Bro, I don't even know where to begin. No. Okay, you can have people be gay, and there will still be plenty of babies. Even if straight people just died off right now, even if everyone was gay, humanity would not die off, okay? I'm sure if it's like humanity's existence is on the line, I'm sure a gay guy could get it up and like ejaculate in a woman. This is like really the dumbest argument so far from the conservative side, and there have been many, many dumb arguments from the conservative side so far.
It can be chosen family. It's just some woman or some man in your life that has a relationship with that child, and it's not their job to parent, but it's their job to maybe step.
And again, this is based on the assumption that you desperately need that sort of figure.
I have never, ever once wanted a mom, sought a mom, thought I was missing something because I didn't have a mom, and I'm sick and tired
Exactly kind of what I was just saying.
of people telling me that I am missing something, because I'm just not.
It's because you didn't have it.
Yeah, but do you
Bro, chill. Jesus Christ.
feel like you're missing something, or you're not missing having two dads because you didn't have it?
Well, no, that's not what we're talking about.
Drop the fucking nuke on this guy's head. Oh, that was so good. His reaction. I want to drizzle that on my ice cream, dude.
Thing, or you're not missing having two dads because you didn't have it?
Well, no, that's not.
Exactly. Elizabeth, I want to say what's her name. You just wrecked Mike.
Nobody can replace. I don't care if it's another dad. I don't care if it's aunt. I don't care if it's a grandmother.
Wrong.
That-
there was a study
Hold on,
done
hold on one second.
showing that
I don't
the
care about-
fathers
I don't
formed
care
the
about
same
studies.
biological
Studies mean nothing to
connection.
me.
He goes, studies mean nothing to me. He just disregarded all studies. He just says studies mean nothing to me. That is insane. The quintessential conservative here. Studies mean nothing to me? Are you kidding me?
Studies mean nothing to me.
I want to hear him out. I want to hear
about
this guy out
reality.
right here.
Listen,
What's he saying?
You saying that
Studies are what bring us closer to reality. Have you heard of the scientific method? Look it the fuck up. These studies, these social science studies, use the scientific method. They're not fake. They're not made up.
We're all human
Inequality is what
beings.
actually makes everything good. I mean, we were just talking about how
Inequality is what makes everything good? Why do conservatives love inequality? I was just watching a Fox News video where they were talking about like capitalism versus socialism, and there was a guy going at bat for inequality. I fundamentally don't agree with inequality. I can't believe that that is something I need to say to conservatives. But no, inequality is not a good thing.
What am I missing? Pinpoint exactly what I am missing.
A mother.
And how, right, what am I missing from that?
fundamental difference between a
what
mother
can
and a
you-
father.
Okay, so what can you point to in me?
I
that
don't
would
know
be
you.
different
I don't know you.
because-
That's why I asked the
can
question
say this.
originally.
I can.
Elizabeth is killing it here. She's the best one here, in my opinion. The conservatives cannot answer any of her points. She's like, what am I missing by not having a mother? And they're just like, we don't know you.
Is there a agenda connected to it? To purposely, for the sake of society, community, to adopt children into your home to prove a point?
If you're having a kid for a political agenda, you should not be a parent.
What an incredible question. In his brain, queer people, gay people, same-sex couples are having kids to spread their political beliefs and not to, like, raise a family together. I'm speechless.
When you look at reality TV, I feel, just from what I'm seeing, I don't go off of statistics and data. That's a bunch of BS. I go off.
Statistics and data are BS. I'm sorry that I have to be the one to say this, but facts don't care about your feelings? Studies, data, this is what reality is. What you're describing is what you're feeling. All data and studies pointing the other way should be a wake-up call. You shouldn't hear that all the overwhelming scientific consensus says this one thing. It's not what I believed before I heard that, and so it must be that the study's wrong. Maybe you're wrong. If there is overwhelming scientific consensus and many studies done that show you're wrong, maybe you're just wrong, and it's not that there's a vast international scientific conspiracy where every study is wrong. Like, these people are saying every study is wrong. All data is wrong, he says, because all studies, all data tend to show a more progressive reality. What's the dumb thing you hear on Reddit all the time? Facts, or like reality has a liberal bias. That's what they say. Like, liberal meaning left of modern conservatism. I'm not saying liberal in the like the way leftists use liberal. I'm using liberal in the way most normal people use liberal. They say reality has a liberal bias because studies have a liberal bias. Data has a liberal bias. It's just the truth. And so either you have to accept that the more liberal, worldview on these topics is the correct one, or all studies are wrong and all data is wrong, as these two conservatives have just said, point blank, to all of our faces, to the hundreds of thousands who've watched this on Jubilee. They have told us, I don't care about studies. I don't care about data. I literally do not care about facts. You are seeing it like they're handing it on a silver platter. The reason why modern conservatism is so fucked up, on a silver platter. Pay attention if you're watching this on YouTube. I hope someone watches this. But joking aside, within the first 23 minutes, we have gotten two conservatives to admit they do not care about reality. They do not care about studies, data, or facts.
I feel, just from what I'm seeing, I don't go off of statistics and data. That's a bunch of BS. I go off of what I see.
Your personal, what you see, your personal anecdotes, and this is a pattern I'm recognizing in these videos I'm watching. You can go back and watch all my videos. You will see this pattern. Conservatives base their entire worldview off of personal anecdotes. The things that they saw in their narrow worldview. That is what they base their entire reality on. When you look at things, outside of your own perspective, things might look different. That's where you get studies, systemic studies, studies of systems, not individual anecdotes. The truth is, there is a much, much, much bigger world out there than what you saw in your narrow slice of life. That's just what it is. And those things are what people put into studies. That is where we get data. And you cannot disregard those things. You just can't. You have to at least include them in your worldview. You can't just say it's all wrong and all fake, and exactly what I saw is the only thing that's true. That's absurd. But that is what you have to do to be a modern conservative.
When Homeboy has said that he doesn't believe in data or statistics, I don't think it was a subtle eye roll. I definitely got whiplash.
How else do you make a point that is professional and mature if you're not citing data and you're not citing research and you're calling it all bullshit? That scrapped all of his credibility for me. You're talking about kids of gay parents and you're saying that they're all these things, and the person you're talking about, I'm sitting here telling you you're wrong, and you're still interrupting me, and you're still invalidating me, and you're still telling me that your opinion must be right even though you're not in my shoes. That was really shocking.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just go on personal anecdote, you've got the person right there to give you a relevant personal anecdote. So it's like one personal anecdote versus the other. And the best part is she was citing an actual scientific study. And the other conservative said, no, I do not believe in scientific studies. You are not dealing with serious people here at this point. You just aren't. Should queer couples be allowed to adopt children? At all? Should it just be a blanket illegal globally? The kids that they're going to adopt, is it better for them to not get adopted than it would be to go to two loving parents of the same sex?
It's so important to be able to have a dialogue so kids feel like they can come to you and
Why are
not
they
necessarily
crying?
forcing that you.
I'm really sorry.
Do you want to talk about it?
I just haven't been told I was raised wrong in a long time.
Dude, now I want to fucking well up.
It's just a lot of trauma associated with this.
Yeah, I bet.
And it's not trauma for my family. It's trauma from people telling me it's wrong. I know my family is right, and I know my family is normal. I didn't know it. I didn't know my family was not normal until other people decided to tell me that.
I don't think anybody said wrong.
Oh, the fuck? Plenty of people said wrong. Are you kidding me? You were saying shit was wrong, biblically speaking. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
No one said it in this room.
If not her, all of the rest of them did, for absolutely certain. Are you kidding me? Elizabeth is being very generous to the gigantic assholes in the room with her right now.
Most people I know got their sex ed from porn, and if we're talking about, sex and consent, I don't think anyone in this room is thinking that porn is a great example of sex ed.
It is. I fundamentally disagree. Porn is an absolutely good example of good sex ed. For anyone. No, that's a joke.
I said disagree because of the word necessary. I don't think that it's necessary. Everyone's watched Animal Planet.
Aldo.
The lion cubs how to have sex or what to do. I think it's ingrained in all of us. I think it's just something that is the result of evolutionary biology.
Bro, Aldo, even the other conservatives, there's I don't know. They're obviously all terrible. But, it is a spectrum, okay, of terrible. If this is the spectrum of terrible, and, when you get over here, it gets to be less terrible, but this is all terrible. The other guys are, here somewhere. Aldo is, off the deep end. Everything he has been saying has been completely nuts.
And some social scientists are saying that it's getting younger every year to keep people viewing, to keep the dopamine.
The other guys are like, no. You just cited a study. Nope. Do not believe it. Come back with personal anecdotes. Then maybe I'll believe you.
over 90% of young boys have seen porn, and 60% for young women. And that is something that we have to recognize.
Nope. Don't believe it. That's data. Data. I can't even. Jesus Christ.
I think it.
Aldo, like worst take competition. Like he is winning in spades.
Elementary schools should teach students about sexual orientation and gender identity.
Why do you not think that parents can sufficiently and appropriately determine how and when they talk to their kids about sex?
Because most parents are stupid. Because most people are stupid. That is why we have school at all. That is why we have curricula, decided by people smarter than you and smarter than me, who devoted their lives to studying what curricula should be. This is what reality is. This is what we need to teach kids. Yes, I trust whatever public school in America is teaching in sex ed more than anything they're learning in a conservative parent's household. 65% of kids are going to get no information from their parents or terrible information from their parents, Aldo. This is a very difficult thing to message across. And I probably didn't do a very good job of it because it is so difficult. But more garbage takes from Aldo, who has been the king of it so far.
And why are these teachers so eager to talk to other parents' children about sex? And
no one's like fucking eager, rubbing their hands.
Oh, well, no, I was just going to say that, you know, my wife and I plan to homeschool for a multitude of reasons. Specifically, we don't want the state involved in our child's education. There are a bunch of subjects we don't even think should be taught to begin with, like earth science. What the hell is that all about?
Like, I was gonna joke math, like he's gonna say something ridiculous, like in terms of what topics you shouldn't teach. Earth science? What the hell is that? Mike, please send your kids to public school. I'm begging you, brother. I don't care if they come home and you hand them your indoctrination textbook or whatever. Please do. But also please send them to public school. Let them go. They can come home and you could tell them why everything they've heard is wrong. I don't care. At least send them to public school, please. You are a crazy person, Mike. You're never going to hear this. But I'm begging you for this, if you love your children. Okay? Let them learn about earth scientists, man. Earth sciences. This is the guy who earlier in the video said all studies are bullshit. So that's not surprising that he doesn't teach certain subjects in his homeschool, like earth sciences. Wow.
I don't even think should be taught to begin with, like earth science. What the hell is that all about? But to point to Aldo's point, one of the reasons...
Dude, look at the, like, gay dad. He is, like, biting his tongue again. Look at him, look at him.
But to point to Aldo's point...
He is, like... Look at his face. Look at that, like... That is the, like, holy shit. You are, like... advanced dumb. You are like AP level dumb. Like everyone else is like dumb, but Mike is like extra dumb. Like, oh my god, dude.
With the teachers in the classrooms, I feel like there is a larger subset of teachers who seem to have an agenda. This is just what I see optically. And it's just not...
Their agenda is to teach your kids, dude. Their agenda is to teach your kids earth science. What agenda? Can you say the agenda? They always say this shit, dude. But they never say what the agenda is. I bet he does not clarify what he means. Please clarify. What agenda?
And introducing all the students to the spectrum of gender ideology creates a dangerous space for that other child.
At home.
No, it doesn't create a a dangerous space for kids to know that, like, other gender identities exist. No. You're a fundamentally stupid person if you think that it's dangerous to think that. There's no other way to put it. It's like if you came up to me and was like, the sky is green, and I look up and the sky is blue, and you're not colorblind or whatever, and you're like, the sky is green. What am I going to say? What can I say to articulate to you other than it is not green. The sky is blue. I cannot, like, we are talking about the fundamental building blocks of reality here, of reason, that Aldo is, like, completely separate from. His brain is, like, disconnected from reality here. Aldo has been something else.
Though, that you recognize that the parents could feel that way, that the introduction of these ideas...
Yeah, you could feel that way. You could feel like the sky is green. It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean you're anything less than fucking stupid. Okay? Yeah, you could feel that. Yeah, maybe they could feel that way, Aldo. Sure. Is it valid? No. Is it relevant? No. Okay, how about that?
Sometimes a child needs a spanking.
No.
And I used to tell my wife, I used to be like, just let me do it. Let me see what happens. But just kind of restrained ourselves, and we just...
Let me see what happens? They're going to be scared of you, dude. A child should not be scared that their parent is going to assault them no matter what boundary they're pushing. There's no excuse to assault a child.
If you are constantly having to spank and use this extreme measure, then you're probably doing something else wrong that needs...
Holy shit! Hell just froze over. Aldo just had a good take.
And sometimes I didn't feel it was justified. Sometimes it was justified. But
No,
I
it
didn't want to
wasn't.
create an-
There was never a justified moment for an adult to hit a kid. Unless the kid has a gun or is charging at you with a knife or some shit, there's never a justification for any adult to hit any kid. I will not budge on this.
And it was more to invoke that fear, because I could never imagine my parents honestly
You should not want your kids to fear you under any circumstances. That's stupid. Kids should not fear their parents. That's ridiculous.
hitting me. And I didn't have to get hit to mind.
They should respect their parents if the parents deserve that respect. But no kid should ever fear their parent in any capacity.
I lived with her and blah, 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 and she smacked me, and I smacked her back. You know, like,
Let's
I wasn't gonna
go.
I don't take that.
After spanking her, I don't even remember last time I've spanked my daughter. Because now, even with my 2-year-old, when they're acting up or doing something or screaming or going crazy, and I'm like, hey guys, stop, and they're still going.
They know the threat of physical abuse is there. No, that's not healthy. Plenty of kids, you can have good kids who listen to you without physical abuse. Okay? It's called good parenting. So try those things instead of resorting to physical abuse.
I'll get the belt and I'll just jingle. Okay, Dad, we're sitting down.
That's so fucked up, dude. What the fuck? How is this normalized? You're threatening your kids with assault to listen to you. What the fuck, man?
We don't
So
want to
we
get
gonna chill the
hit,
fuck
but
out.
also it's a respect thing. Like, that's my father.
It's not a respect thing. 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 How many times do I have to say this? It's not a respect thing. It's a fear thing. They fear you. They fear you are about to hurt them physically. That's why they're listening to you. They're not learning anything. They're learning, if I do this, I will get hurt. That is not learning anything. We're back. It's the next day.
The sexuality of parents influences their kids' sexuality.
Open and shut. No. I mean, it's just not how it works in reality. Okay? I don't even know what more to say. This is another one of those, like, is the sky blue or green? And the answer is the sky is blue. With this one, does the sexuality of parents influence their kids? No.
of people that identify as LGBTQ doubles each generation. And some of that can be because of acceptance of society, but I do not believe that it is pure acceptance. There is...
Every time this comes up, we have to point out the left-handed chart, okay?
If you're straight, that doesn't mean your child is straight. If you're gay, that doesn't mean your child is gay. I want to stand firm on the fact that sexuality is biological. It's not something you can choose.
Elizabeth continuing to just spit. If being gay is a choice, choose. Right now, just choose to be gay. Choose to find men attractive. You failed. Congrats. If it worked, you got more questions to ask yourself. But no, it clearly failed, okay? Unless you already did find men attractive. You can't choose your sexual orientation. You just can't, okay? Cut and dry. Open and shut. End of story, okay?
And I wouldn't want it any other way, but back then when I was figuring things out, I wouldn't have chosen it.
Yeah. Like, it's a great point that he just brought up. Like, the amount of oppression gay people face in the United States, sure, currently and historically, and around the world, is like unthinkable. Okay? Incredible amounts of marginalization and oppression. If they could just choose to turn it off and not have those feelings, not have those urges, and then be accepted by their friends, family, and community, you don't think they would do that in a heartbeat? And they shouldn't need to want to do that. It sucks that that's even something you should feel because you've been rejected because of this very normal thing, just being gay. It's disgusting that they're experiencing that marginalization and feeling that feeling of wanting to not be the way you are. That's not evidence of what's wrong, that there's anything wrong with being gay. It's evidence that there's a lot wrong with being against people being gay. But yeah, like if it was a choice, there would be no gay people because of how cruel we are to gay people. Aldo saying that kids are better off being orphans than in a household with two same-gender parents is the most wildest take I've ever heard. Wait, what? I missed that. Aldo, you said that, dude? He had a lot of wild takes, TBH. He looks and kind of talks like a young Charlie Kirk, yeah. He's a bad person? Yeah, unfortunately. When Mike said studies mean nothing to me, that's all I needed to know. Exactly, dude. Elizabeth hit it on the head with that and invalidates a majority of his opinions because he refused to believe what he doesn't see with his own eyes. Yes, conservatives only have personal anecdotes. That's all they base their reality on, is what I have seen with my own eyes. When there's an entire world out there of information that exists outside of your own personal experience. You can't hit someone with love. That's such a weird concept. Yeah. You can literally correct children in so many ways. Yeah, there's plenty of ways to teach your children that do not involve physically abusing them. That's insane to me. And I grew up with Eastern European parents, okay? I know what that's like personally, okay? It's still fucked up. The quality of your parenting isn't based on your gender or sexuality. It's based on who you are as a person. Yes, done. Open and shut. Perfect. That's all we need. Done. Let's all say a collective prayer for Mike's kids. Yes, dude. Again, put them in public school, Mike. Please, I implore you. Let them come home and tell them everything they've learned is wrong. I do not care. But please, Mike, for the love of God, stop homeschooling them. Teach them earth sciences, my dude. Teach them earth sciences. When the guy said that when he gets his belt and jiggles at his kids scurry to behave, my jaw dropped. That's not respect, that's fear. Yes. I think I said the exact same thing in my commentary. They are not respecting you. Kids in that scenario aren't like, oh, I respect him so much. They are just fucking scared.